It's soft, wobbly, and doesn't know what it wants to be. Sound familiar? Yeah, me too. Welcome to Molding Your Mindset, where we explore how the process of shaping clay can actually shape you. Not just your skills, but your mindset, your patience, and your relationship with mistakes. And hey, if you want to dive deeper, the links to the 2 books I'll be quoting from Artful Journey of Pottery and Pottery Floralage are in the video description below. Part 1. Centering the clay, centering yourself. Before you can shape anything, you have to center the clay. In An Artful Journey of Pottery, Chapter 6, we have this citation. Centering the clay is a dance of resistance and surrender. Life's a lot like that. If you're not grounded, everything else spins off. Centering isn't a one-time fix. It's a daily choice. A breath, a reset, and you feel it. The tension between wanting to control everything and needing to let some of it go. The art is in finding the balance when your hands are on the clay and your breath aligns with the spin of the wheel. Something shifts. You're no longer forcing, you're feeling. You're not reacting, you're responding. You realize that centering the clay is actually centering yourself, and it doesn't always work on the first try. Sometimes you press too hard, sometimes your focus is off, but you don't walk away. You try again, you adjust, you realign, and maybe that's the greatest lesson. You don't need to be perfectly centered to begin. You just need to keep returning to center when you drift. That, right there, is how mindset is molded. Not in sudden transformation, but in small, repeated gestures of returning to balance, to presence, to clarity. Quick reminder, if this is speaking to you, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. It's a small act, but it helps this space grow, and I'd love to hear what grounds you. Part 2. From control freak to clay whisperer. Let me tell you something clay taught me. Control is a myth. You try to force it, it collapses. Let's talk about control. If you're someone who likes things just right, clean timelines, neat results, no surprises, pottery will humble you fast. Because clay doesn't always do what you expect. The moment you grip too tightly, push too hard, or rush through a step, it resists, it twists, it collapses. You don't dominate clay. You collaborate with it. At first, this can be incredibly frustrating. You have a vision in your head, and the clay just won't cooperate. It slouches, it slumps, it becomes something other than what you planned. But then, something magical happens. You stop fighting it. Instead of trying to control the clay, you start listening to it, not with your ears, but with your hands, with your attention. You begin to sense what it needs: more water, a lighter touch, a pause. You become not a perfectionist, but a clay whisperer. And that shift from controlling to responding is the exact same shift we need when adjusting our mindset. In life, we often grip tightly to expectations. We try to force outcomes, avoid detours, push emotions aside. But just like clay, life resists that kind of pressure. And just like clay, it responds better when we're present, when we adapt. This is where pottery floralage fits in beautifully. Even though it's a coloring book, it still invites us to release control. You don't need to color inside the lines. You don't need to pick the right shade. You just begin coloring not to achieve perfection, but to reconnect with your intuition. With every shape you fill, you're reminded you're not in control of everything, and that's okay. Sometimes letting go of control is the practice. Sometimes letting go of control is the practice, and that's the key. Passing from control freak to creative partner. Passing from managing every outcome to moving with the material. From resisting imperfections to learning from them. Because both in clay and in life, Mastery doesn't come from dominance. It comes from attention, from rhythm, from trust. Same with our attitudes. We can't force confidence or calm or motivation, but we can guide it, breathe into it, build it slowly. That's the difference between controlling life and working with it. Part 3. Mistakes as mirrors. Every potter has made something ridiculous. Fun fact: I once made a mug that looked like a tiny volcano. I kept it. I love it. Here's a truth potters learn fast. You don't really know the clay until you've messed it up. And you will mess it up. You'll collapse the wall. You'll press too hard. You'll center it perfectly and then ruin it with one sudden move. And in those moments, you feel frustration, embarrassment, maybe even shame. You want to toss the clay aside and start over. But if you pause instead, something beautiful happens. You realize the mistake wasn't failure. It was feedback. Mistakes are not failures. They are fingerprints of the learning process. Artful Journey of Pottery, Chapter 4. The clay reflects you. It shows your tension, your rush, your hesitation. It holds a mirror to your mindset in real time. And that's why pottery is such a powerful teacher. When the piece collapses, it's not just about technique. It's about where you were mentally. Were you distracted? Were you impatient? Were you overconfident or afraid to commit? The clay doesn't lie. It keeps no secrets. And in that way, your mistakes become more than accidents, they become mirrors. This is where your mindset starts to shift. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof that you're not good enough, you begin to see them as invitations to slow down, to breathe, to listen more closely next time. You stop saying, "I failed," and start asking, "What is this showing me about myself?" Even with pottery floralage, you'll notice the same opportunity. You color a piece. You make a weird choice. You use the wrong color. But does the world end? No, you step back and realize it's still beautiful. It's alive. It's yours. That mistake might even become your favorite part. So much of mindset work is learning to reframe imperfection not as a flaw, but as an opening, a place where learning and self-awareness are waiting. Clay is honest, and honesty, especially the kind that comes without judgment, is the foundation of growth. So next time something goes wrong on the wheel or in your life, take a breath, look closely, because maybe, just maybe, that mistake is trying to show you something important, not about your pottery, but about you. Part 4. Shaping attitude over time. You can't make one bowl and become a master. And you can't shift your mindset once and expect it to stick. Mindset doesn't shift in a single breakthrough. It doesn't happen in one meditation, one journal entry, or even one pottery session. Like clay, your mindset is shaped slowly through repetition, rhythm, and presence over time. Each time you come back to the wheel, something subtle changes. Your hand is steadier. Your breath is calmer. You react differently when something goes wrong, not with panic, but with curiosity. That's how attitude shifts. Not by force, but by practice. Pottery gives you a space to build that practice. Every step requires a different part of you. Centering calls for grounding. Pulling walls calls for patience. Trimming the base calls for precision. And through each step, you're not just shaping clay, you're shaping how you respond to pressure, how you handle change, how you recover from frustration, how you move when nothing is certain. Over time, your relationship with clay becomes a mirror for your relationship with life. You begin to carry that presence into your day. The same calm you found at the wheel meets you when traffic slows. The same softness of touch shows up in your conversations. The same breath that guided your form returns when your plans fall apart. And even when you're not working with clay, the same energy is accessible. That's the quiet gift of a practice like pottery. It doesn't stay in the studio. It follows you. It trains your nervous system to slow down. It teaches your thoughts to leave space. It gives your inner critic a new role, not as judge, but as observer. Even in something as simple as pottery floralage, you build that rhythm. You color one piece today, another tomorrow. You let go of expectations and just follow the lines, fill the space, enjoy the act. And little by little, you soften. You let go of the need to be productive or perfect all the time. And that softness, when repeated, is what molds your mindset. In the end, it's not about making a flawless vase or a perfect page. It's about who you're becoming while shaping something with care. And that version of you, the one who pauses, who listens, who adapts, that's the real masterpiece. So maybe today's question isn't, how do I fix everything? Maybe it's, what would my mindset look like if it were a pot? And just like we can read in an artful journey of pottery, the clay doesn't just hold shape, it holds story, belief, growth. And this marks the end of this video. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with your favorite takeaway, and hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this. I'd love to know, what's one mindset you're trying to reshape this season? And again, if you want to go deeper, you'll find the links to Artful Journey of Pottery and Pottery Floralage in the description below. In the next video, we will explore the pottery puns, life lessons, how clay can teach us about living. Until then, stay grounded, stay patient, and keep shaping your story. Bye. It's soft, wobbly, and doesn't know what it wants to be. Sound familiar? Yeah, me too. Welcome to Molding Your Mindset, where we explore how the process of shaping clay can actually shape you. Not just your skills, but your mindset, your patience, and your relationship with mistakes. And hey, if you want to dive deeper, the links to the 2 books I'll be quoting from Artful Journey of Pottery and Pottery Floralage are in the video description below. Part 1. Centering the clay, centering yourself. Before you can shape anything, you have to center the clay. In An Artful Journey of Pottery, Chapter 6, we have